The Blaine Young Show, weekdays from 3 to 5 on 930 WFMD.
Saying the illegals are not in it. You got one congressperson
I think the language
saying,
says that you must be an American citizen, but they don't have no verification. So it's a loophole.
The Democrats removed the verification process.
That's Blaine, that's part of the problem. Yeah. People don't know what to believe. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth.
That, but what I'm trying to say
is people are afraid.
A Democrat, Ben Cardin, when he got up there and said that no illegals, under the bill, no illegals. The fact is he's basing on this language, but like they said, they took the E-Verify out of the bill.
Exactly.
So and that's what have people concerned and afraid, because you don't know who to believe. And right now, I think they better dump this whole thing, start all over, and take a deep breath. I
agree with you. What happened? They went too fast and too quick, and I think in my business it's called malpractice. If you ask me to do a heart catheterization,
they don't understand insurance, and they don't understand the healthcare facility.
And also they don't understand medicine. Like, for instance, here's a classic one. You can always challenge the email you just got, like the red pill versus yellow pill. President Obama said, well, sometimes the red pill, the more expensive pill, works, and the yellow pill doesn't work. So he's saying we're going to go with the yellow pills, which are cheaper. So if I tell you, if you had a stroke with a blocked artery in your neck and you had a heart attack, your LDL, L is lousy, L is low, I'm going to give you education here, has to be below 70. The average in the United States is 140. With the average generic drug, it's impossible almost to get an LDL below 70. The only drugs that do that are the non-generics, which cost more. So the red pill, in this case, is better. But he's telling us, doctors, you can't use the red pill. And he's referring to the formulary in the Veterans Administration Hospital that only uses formulary drugs. And that's not fair to the veterans, because the drugs don't do the job all the time. And that's a direct comparison to the VA medicine. He's trying to say, guess what, doctors? You will use yellow pills. You will use this formulary, and the red pills will be only by special permission by this government panel that oversees your formulary. And that's wrong. I mean, how's a bureaucrat going to tell me what drug to use on my patient?
I thought currently you were automatically prescribed a generic unless the doctor said a generic won't work and you have to go to the...
No, not at all. When it comes to hyperlipidemia, high cholesterol after a heart attack, the doc, at this point with Medicare, you have to pay it's a tier 2 drug. You pay $20 extra.
Correct.
But we never give you the drug that doesn't work. It doesn't make sense.
But you pay more.
$20 more, but the government doesn't deny you. So they want to do a formulary. And look at the VA hospital. They do these prostate seeds for prostate cancer. You read about that today? Mm-hmm. 150 people got the wrong radiation doses. People don't, by the way, Blaine, people don't get treated in the VA hospital for acute emergencies. You know that, right?
No, I didn't.
The VA hospital's great. We save money in the formulary. But the truth of the matter is when they have a heart attack or a gunshot wound or appendix taken
they go
out.
to a regular hospital.
You got it.
Okay.
And we do it. So what they do is they hand out medications and have clinics, but they don't take care of people when they're sick. Is that unusual?
I didn't know that. I thought
when they're sick.
They're not an acute hospital.
They're not acute.
They're not an acute hospital.
There's very few, and that's right.
They took care of my uncle in Reno, but my uncle was a World War II amputee, so they maintained him.
Exactly.
But when they happened to, just because he died there, but it was just a freak accident that he died there. But if he had gotten shot, then he would have had to go to another hospital, wouldn't have gone to the VA hospital.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's absolutely, and then it was a good commentary, the fact you get what you pay for. The Washington Post says, we have the Seaport program. I started out here in the hospital with the cardiologist. When you have a heart attack, within 60 minutes, we open the artery. The national average is 188 minutes, right? Check this out. You have to pay these doctors to be here. Now, they're saying, well, that's sleazy, perverse that a doctor gets paid for that. That's weird. The doctor's sleeping in some townhouse from Hopkins to open your artery within 15 minutes. That's not sleazy or perverse. That's great medicine.
It's called the golden hour care.
You got it. And we do it in 60 minutes. We set the state record, by the way.
One more question. Catherine Hilbrand emailed me, columnist for Frederick News Post. And you can always email me with your questions at blaine@wfmd.com or 301-694-WFMD. I have insurance. Bureaucrats deciding how many MRIs I can get now. What's the difference? I have insurance. Bureaucrats determining how many times I can get my teeth cleaned a year. What's the difference? There are no real bills. I agree with Anita. Dump it and start over with tort and insurance reform.
Clever. Actually very right. For instance, the decision to repeat an MRI should really be solely based on the examining treating physician at the bedside, not by a bureaucrat. In England, when I was with a friend of mine, he wanted to get an MRI in a patient. He had to walk over to the other suite. It was very humiliating. And the guy says, why? He had to beg this radiologist chief to get an MRI in London Hospital. And the guy denied it. He says, nope, this is our per capita MRI. It's finished. Here in the United States, if you think you need an MRI, with someone who has recurrent tumors, for instance, or recurrent stroke. You can order it tomorrow. No one stops you from doing that. Only the physician who's treating you should have that power to do that.
But with regard to the dental part, that's part of your insurance plan. I mean, you can probably have your teeth cleaned every month if you want to pay for it. Right. But your insurance company, that's what you negotiate with your insurance company.
Right. Part of your plan.
That's a different thing.
Let's take a quick break. 301-694-93. All four parts. Let's go to the phone lines. Joshua, welcome to the program.
Greetings, Blaine. It's Joshua Lyons. Greeting, Doctor and Anita.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello, sir.
Good. Blaine, can you read me Catherine's question again?
I've deleted it.
Okay. I believe she was talking about the differences between, either having bureaucrats with the insurance agent.
Bureaucrats with MRIs, bureaucrats deciding how many times you get your teeth cleaned.
Yeah.
Exactly. And okay, what's the difference? I'm going to have one. Well, we got to remember something. Nobody's telling her she can only have her teeth cleaned twice a year.
That's right. Anita
That's what I just said, yeah.
Exactly. And what we have here is freedom to make choices. Insurance doesn't mean that everything is going to be paid for. It means that we have a backup plan. We have some way of taking care of our medical situations. It doesn't mean we're entitled to somebody paying for all of our medical expenses from here to kingdom come. And that gets lost a lot of times in the conversation. I really wanted to point that out.
Sure. Well, thank you. All right, Joshua, thank you very much. And we got Tea Party scheduled for 9/11, buddy, all right?
Yeah, look forward to seeing you and Dr. Vitarello there.
All right. Thank you. And, we talked a little bit about the last program. You still believe that our healthcare system here, even though there are some areas that needs reformed, is the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thinking about coming over here again today. Let's compare Switzerland. Well, Switzerland has the second best health care. When was the last time the Swiss developed a pacemaker? When was the last time a Swiss developed the first bypass? When was the first time they performed the first stent or developed it? When was the first time they did statin drug development? The answer is no, 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 no. The majority of all innovations in medicine come from the United States, and that costs extra money to develop it, and we are obviously the benefactors of this. So our costs will be slightly higher with this new plan, but again, we provide the leadership in research and development, and this provides the jewel of America, of medicine itself. That's why people come around the world to come to Johns Hopkins. They don't go to Lucerne.
Yeah.
Okay? They come here. All the rich Swiss come here, and the Japanese, they all come here to get their health care because it's the best of the best. Now, can we do better? Absolutely. We have to have, the poor taken care of. Absolutely. We have to lower costs so we don't bust the bank, but there's a reasonable way of doing this. And I was telling you about Thomas Paine. It's called common sense. Common sense. And I think the politicians, unfortunately, involved in this great debate don't have the common sense to do this right because they have their own agendas. What you need to look at is, again, what's the problem? Costs a lot of money? Absolutely. We have a lot of people that are not insured. And I agree with Anita that everyone has to be insured in this great country. How do we pay for it? We have to do it where everyone has some ownership into this, from the Medicaid all the way to the Medicare to the privates. We'll have some type of ownership in it. And the drug companies have to lower their profit range a little bit. The insurance companies, the doctors have to. They've lowered theirs by 34%. We have to do that. And the medical device people. And most importantly, we have to have tort reform. There is no tort reform in this thing. We have to get rid of these frivolous lawsuits where people at end of life are suing doctors because they want grandma getting, quote, dialyzed when she's in a coma and she's demented. A lot of doctors are doing these tests because they don't want to get sued, and they're ordering extra tests. And I told you last time we were here, $30 billion in legal fees.
CYA medicine.
And also legal fees. That's wrong.
That's why Maryland is such a great state, because we have the durable power of attorney, where you yourself make your medical decisions.
Right, until you get to the nursing home, then you're in a coma, then your daughter comes in and says, I want everything changed. What they do is, I understand, but what they do, the doctors, our hospitalists, the ones who work in the hospital, are intimidated. There's a culture, it's unusual, how can I say this, that doctors are so frightened of getting sued.
Sure.
And when they get sued once, it's horrible. Now, I've counseled all these doctors who go through this. They feel like their knowledge has been challenged. They're not good doctors. And what they do is they CY cover their ass and order these tests. And we see people that threaten us. If you don't do this, we're going to sue you. If there's a bad outcome, I will sue you. Now, we're dealing with 80-year-old patients who have a bad outcome if you give them a glass of water. So doctors do a lot of tests to cover themselves, get better outcomes.
He didn't put the jack in it. That was the problem.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I think you need help. You need tort reform in this country. And I told you, Obama got $238 million last year from the trial
There
lawyers.
you go.